do you like it? How is everybody today? Good morning, GTC. Thank you. Very nice. Very nice. Is anybody here? Yes. For the first time today. You are? Go ahead and stand up for 1 second. No, we're not going to ask you, like, you know, anything particular. You can stand up, too. Just tell us your name.
I'm Leslie.
Leslie and Philip. We just want to say welcome. Thank you for joining us today. And we have a little gift for you. Where are you, Kirby? Kirby has a little booklet for you can take home and read. And it's called, I believe, she just went running for it. She forgot. Yeah, she'll find you. It's called, I think it's called The Mental Equivalent. That's what you're getting today. So thank you. Yes, you got them? Good. Leslie. And Philip, right here. Philip was a ballet dancer with the Joffrey Ballet. We're going to make him come up and do some ballet bar for us, just to show us how.
Only following your ballet.
Yes, you can follow me. Yes, exactly. So I'm going to invite you all to stand up. We're going to start today a little unconventionally. Wait, are you two new too?
Well, we've been here before.
Okay, good. I'm looking at you really. Who is that?
That's my dad.
Oh, that's your dad. Oh, you're a Galperson.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore, because now you're married.
Yeah.
Yes. What's your
Ruined it. Carlo.
He ruined it. Carlo.
Well, Galperson's now my middle name.
I like Carlo. Carlo's a good last name. What's your first name?
Jessica.
Jessica Galperson Carlo.
I'm the favorite.
Of course you are. We can all see why. Yes, exactly. Good. Okay. All right. So we're going to start with a song we never sing at the top of the day. We're going to start with Thank You for This Day. And so I want you to think about what you're grateful for today. Let's make this entire service about gratitude. Wouldn't it be great if you all left here about 10 inches higher, 10 inches taller than you already were when you walked in here? Let's try that. Hit it, Robbie. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Everybody now.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day.
This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my joy, Spirit. Thank you for my joy.
Thank you for my joy, Spirit. Thank you for my joy.
My abundant, abundant, abundant joy.
My abundant, abundant, abundant joy.
Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life.
Everybody now.
Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. My magnificent, magnificent, magnificent life.
My magnificent, magnificent, magnificent life.
Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends.
Everybody now. Thank you for my friend, Spirit. Thank you for my friend.
My beautiful, my beautiful, my beautiful friends.
My beautiful, my beautiful, my beautiful friend. Now say good morning to one another. These are all your beautiful friends. Gabby, good morning. I want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
'Cause I'm so grateful.
Grateful.
So grateful.
So grateful.
Okay, Nick, what are you grateful for? Life. What are you grateful for, Connie? What? What?
Today.
Oh, today. I thought you said I'm gay. I was like, you should tell your boyfriend that. Yeah. Okay. What are you grateful for, Gabby? My health. Let's try that. You ready? Here we go. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. Everybody now.
Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health.
My expansive, expansive, expansive health.
My expansive, expansive, expansive health.
Hey, so what are you thankful for? My family, yeah? Thank you for my family, Spirit. Thank you for my family. They're all right there.
Thank you for my family, Spirit. Thank you for my family.
My beautiful Wasn't that a fun way to start? And right, now you're all in a grateful mode and you're all doing good. Okay, so we come together every Sunday as a spiritual community, Judd, to do one thing, and what is that?
To know right where I am, God is.
That was nice. Very wow, it's almost like you're a plant. To know that right where I am, what? That's what we do here. We remind ourselves who we are. We remind ourselves of our vision statement, which is to...
Love only.
Yeah, what is that, Andrea? What is it?
Love only.
Yes.
Yes.
And?
Forgive everything.
Doesn't have as much energy from you people. Forgive everything and... Remember who you are, yes. So everybody take a deep breath. Stan, come on up. Stan Galperson, ladies and gentlemen, who is... That's weird. Here we go. Is that good? Got kind of wacko. Yeah, you good? So, love only, forgive everything, and most importantly, remember who you are. So take a deep breath. Just keep breathing in. And then let it go.
The words I have to say may all be simple, but they're true. Till you give your love, there's nothing more that we can do. Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Very hard to leave behind the life we knew. There's no other way. Now it's really up to you. Love is the key we must turn. Truth is the flame we must burn. Freedom the lesson we must learn. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen?
Do you know what I mean? When I say, love only. Can you imagine walking through your day, seeing only love everywhere you look, no matter what you see? Can you imagine your heart being so soft and yet so expanded that all it ever realizes is that we are one? One people on one planet, living one life, individualized yet commonized by all of the love that we all share. Do you know what I mean when I say love only? Only love.
Love is the opening what we came here for. No one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen?
Stan Gopperson.
My dad.
He's got more coming. Yes. He's my brother, too. Okay, so let's bring up to the stage Reverend Dr. Andrea Arlington. That's hysterical. My mother. My mother, my sister, my mother, my sister. Okay. Reverend Doctor,
Dr. James.
you look lovely,
Thank you.
as always. Yes? So, what are we talking about this month?
Equanimity. Equanimity.
Oh, we're missing this thing in front of us, which we need. Someone forgot to turn that on. So if someone could turn
In case
that
you haven't
on.
been here all month and forgot.
Yeah, I know. I remember what equanimity is. So what is it to you?
Well, it is practicing inner peace and grace. And the intention of holding space for grace for everything that's going on
Oh, that's great.
in this world.
Holding space for grace. It kind of rhymes, too.
Yes.
Well, no, it does rhyme.
Indeed, it does.
Steve Brabant said something about equanimity this morning in his meditation, which really touched me. It was the idea that it's not that we have to change everything around us, and he talked about chaos. We don't have to change it. We're not here to change things,
Right.
but we're here to witness it, and to witness what's going on from a state of equanimity.
Without judgment
Yeah.
and attachment. For sure.
That's the hard part, isn't it, Scott? I just looked over and I see Scott going, Yeah, Scott, right. No, but that's the challenge.
It is very much the challenge. And I read an amazing article on equanimity this morning, and it was talking about how even with physical symptoms in our body, and in the work that I do, mental health issues and addiction issues, if we can remember that nothing's permanent, and to practice while dropping into that beautiful quantum field where there is no judgment, there's only love.
And no time.
Love only,
Yeah.
right? And no time, yeah. And that helps a lot, right?
I read something this week too, and it said, if you have a problem with change, realize that in 100 years it'll all be different.
And even in 100
And the
minutes.
joke was, I won't be here, but it'll be different.
Yeah.
But I will be here
Yes.
on some quantum plane, right?
I'm glad you know that.
I do know that. I actually teach that. Yes. So how do you use it in your life? Now, so a lot of people, some people may not know, and some people online certainly don't know what you do. Tell them what you do.
I help family systems heal from generational trauma and address mental health and addiction issues that result from generational trauma. And, recently, and I was talking about this with my friend Philip and also with my daughter Gabby, I have not felt equanimity. Like, I have been really triggered. Maybe I'm very empathic, so I do take on. And so...
You know my feeling about empathy.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I received...
But I'm better at it. I'm actually now beginning to believe that there is a place for empathy in the world.
I think you're right. I
Yeah.
do. Brene Brown teaches that, and I do love her work.
Yes, and Brene Brown used to drive me insane.
I know she did. I remember that. during
Remember?
our
Oh my God, we
classes.
watched that video and it was all about being vulnerable, and I just it felt like such a pity party. But I have come a long way since my idea of pity parties and empathy. I now understand you can feel what
Yeah.
someone's going through without taking it on.
Well, and that's the part where I need to do the work, right?
Right.
And so I do have an energy practice that I do every day, and sometimes I have to get in a hot bathtub with some baking soda and salt and soak it out, you know. Okay, so here's the deal, right?
You
Like,
heard it here today, folks.
we all have to have our practices, whether they're
Yeah.
spiritual practice, and I think we also need to have social and community support and involvement.
So we should all get together in a big tub with baking soda.
I think that would be lovely.
Wouldn't that be cool? I bet you somewhere
you know, I
somewhere
mean-
they're doing that.
All right, so metaphysically, it does clear your auric field.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway,
I'm going home to do that.
It does feel so good.
I know.
telling
I'm
you.
already feeling it.
It's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
It's lovely. It's very calming. It calms your autonomic nervous system. It detoxes your acidic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, bottom line is that how do I practice equanimity when shit is hitting the fan? Because shit has been hitting the fan. In case you guys haven't experienced that recently with all that has gone on in our world. But I do believe very much that we absolutely have to have a solid spiritual practice and to really spend time grounding ourselves in nature. And one of the things that helps me a lot is when I'm outside in nature, I look around and I recognize that everything that is happening in nature is intelligence in action. Like
Yep,
the
yep.
systems in nature represent the powerful intelligence and wisdom that's operating on our planet, even if we can't see it. It's operating in, as, and through every condition that's happening.
yep.
And the more that we practice our conscious practices, the more we impact the whole. And so, yeah, equanimity is a personal responsibility, but it's a huge contribution to our world.
Yeah. Do you know what I just realized? I think the 2 years of practitioner studies is 2 years to reach equanimity. Yeah. Because frankly, think about it, folks. If you're in some kind of chaos, to use what you talked about today, Steve, if you're in some kind of crazy chaos, who do you want with you? Someone who is calm, someone who gets it, someone who can have a clear mind, a clear heart, and help you with whatever's going on for you, which is what a practitioner is.
Yeah.
Which is why recently there's a book coming out that talks about my skills as a teacher in the early days. And I don't come out really good in it, other than that I taught really well, but that I was really harsh. That I was really, really, Stan?
Wait a
Stan
minute.
sitting here.
Were you there, Stan?
No, Stan, you got the mellow me. Didn't you? Well, Corinne didn't, but most of you got the mellow me. Wouldn't you say? You've gotten soft. I've gotten soft. But in the early days, the first year of practitioner course is called How Life Got to Be This Way. And what I didn't do well is suffer victims. When someone had victim mentality, it just triggered me somehow.
too.
Right? It's like
Awful.
get over it. And
but
that
you
was
know
kind
what?
of my teaching style.
Right?
Get
but,
over
but
it.
I realized that part of that is me not
Me.
wanting to
Yes,
feel their
exactly.
fucking stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Not fair.
So right, yeah. That's why we had such an easy time in class together. You and I. Yes. But what I realize is that if you're going to become a practitioner, and I know Tiffany's now teaching a brand new practitioner class, and I have a new ministerial class. So if you're going to teach practitioners, and the first year is How Life Got to Be This Way, it really is about letting go of all of your, since you brought it up as a spiritual term, letting go of all of your shit.
Right.
And really being willing to see where you see yourself as a victim, where you still believe in those things. And then the second year is called, that was a little beveled foot, the second year is called Living a Life of Choice. So the first year is about get rid of all the stuff that you're holding on to that still makes you a victim in this world. And in the second year, choose something else. By the end of those 2 years, you should have found your equanimity.
I'm not saying that that was true for me.
No, it wasn't.
It-
But, I'm just kidding.
It wasn't.
No, but you went through practitioner, didn't you go a couple times?
Twice,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
And
ministerial,
ministerial
twice.
twice, yeah.
Yeah. So
Thank God for you for showing up and helping me really.
But you're there
find it.
now.
I am.
And except
so
when you're
grateful.
not.
And most of the time I am, but when I'm not, I get it and I do my own work so
Right.
that I'm. But I had a huge opportunity recently to really feel my lack of toleration for people who are in victim consciousness. And I really did recognize that the lack of toleration is really self-protection for me,
Totally.
right? And I had to actually make an amends because I was so intolerant of somebody that I love, and I needed to make that amends and acknowledge it wasn't about them at all. It was truly only about my own triggers, you
Right.
know? Yeah.
And frankly, that's what maturity is. That's what spiritual maturity is. When I taught my first practitioner class, I was 1 year into my ministry, so that was 26 years ago. My first ministerial class was like 24 years ago,
Wow.
22 years ago. And, you know, as a new minister, having learned all of this stuff, I didn't really live it 100% of the time. Probably I was like maybe 40, 60. 40, I lived it, and 60, I was trying to figure it out. And as you grow older and older and you get more and more steeped in this teaching, when you start to really live it,
Yeah.
really live it, you don't get triggered by victim mentality. You actually help the person understand what it is.
Yeah.
And that's a very different thing. And just so you know, when this book comes out, I come out really good in it. Just so you
Wait a
know.
minute. What is the name of this book?
Well, it's Reverend Rita Andriello's new book
Oh, I love
called
her.
Where Is My Red Dress? And she sent it to me and she said, you should read chapter 15 before I publish this. So I read it, and she was talking about how in my first ministerial class, some of the students would leave crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not laughing at the crying. I'm just laughing at me.
Right.
And I said to her, I said, why would you leave crying? She said, because you were so harsh. You said that we didn't know what we were doing. You were just so harsh. I was like, wow. And she said, you're not like that now. And I hung up on her. So,
Sure.
no. But it's an evolution. It's a constant growth and an evolution. Now you should all study with me. I am so easy now.
That is not true.
I know. But yeah. But I'm kinder.
You are kinder.
Much kinder,
Yeah.
yes. Right, Steve? Yeah. Okay, good.
We have a much bigger, a broader sense of humor and toleration for
No, you know
for
what
the
it
growth
is?
experience. What?
It's one thing.
What is it?
I know who I am now. And I don't have to try to be someone else to prove it. Now I know who I am, and
That's
I know
big.
who you are.
That's big.
So, Connie's like my favorite. I use Connie all
Where
the
have
time.
you been, Connie? We haven't seen you for a
was in
while.
Can I tell this story? Connie was in prac class. And in prac, I'm telling it anyway, Connie. But Connie was in prac class, and it was called the sex class, right? So the sex class, remember sex class? Everybody loved sex class. Sex class was when we discussed homosexuality, heterosexuality, asexuality, prostitution. Remember all those fun, fun things. And you had to come in with your opinions about all of these things. It's a really fun class. Now you all want to take prac class just for that class. And you have a panel of ministers that sit there and listen to what you say, and they kind of talk to you about what you said. It's my favorite. I use this line all the time. Connie was in the hot seat, and she's telling all of her opinions, and one of the ministers gave her a reflection of what they thought about what she just said. And this primal voice came out of sweet little Connie, and she went, "You don't know me." Right? It was one of the most fun moments in practitioner class. And that was like my turning point. I was like, love her, absolutely love her. Yes.
Beautiful.
And now we do know you. And you know you. Yes. Okay, I don't know how we got there, but you ready for the affirmation?
I am.
Okay, here we go.
Ooh, I love that.
You know what? And it's an affirmation, but it's also a question I want to ask you. Do you? Are you?
Yes.
Are you at peace with who you are? All of your everything about you. You're good, you're bad, you're in the middle, all the stuff about you, your idiosyncrasies, how many of you have faults? If you're not sure, ask your partner. Right. All of it. Are you
Or
good?
your daughter.
Or your daughter, or your children, yes, yes. Right? So, shall we?
Yes. All right. I am at peace with who I am. Shall we? I am at peace with who I am.
It's all yours.
And so it is.
Okay, we're good. Reverend Dr. Andrea Arlington. Okay, now do we want a little bit more Stan Galperson? Oh, yeah. Great, come on up, Stan. Okay, all good.
Ooh, a little less than the monitor, please. So this is my favorite Tom Petty song, and I think it speaks to equanimity better than anything I could have come up with myself. So. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea. Sail away, kill off the hours. You belong somewhere you'll feel free. Run away, go find a lover, far away, somewhere all bright and new. And I have seen no other who compares with you. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea. You belong with your love on your arms. You belong somewhere you'll feel free. Run away, go find a lover, far away, let your heart be your guide. You deserve the deepest of comfort. You belong in that home by and by. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong somewhere close to me, far away from your troubles and worries. You belong somewhere you'll feel free. You belong somewhere you'll feel free. You belong somewhere you'll feel free. Thank you.
Stan Galperson. And let's give it up also for the ladies. They are so amazing. Okay, so as I spoke about a minute ago, one of the things I love most is teaching. And I'm teaching at an Advanced Consciousness 2 class right now. And one of the things we're doing every morning is we're reading Mark Nepo's book, The Book of Awakening. How many of you have read The Book of Awakening? Every day, right? It's just, Oprah Winfrey calls him one of the 5 wisest teachers on the planet. And this book was the book that brought him notoriety and gave him his first New York Times bestseller. And so today, when I woke up, the first thing I did was read it. And the quote was like so perfect for what we're doing here today and what this final week of equanimity is all about. And it's this. He says, the more I experience and survive, the more I find truth in the commonalities we all share. Now just think about that for a minute. The more I experience of life and the more I survive all of these things that go on in life, the more I find truth in the commonalities we all share. And Mark wrote this book 12 years, I believe, after he had stage 4 cancer. And it was about his realization of where he is now in his life in terms of facing his mortality. And what does it feel like 12 years later? And it's interesting because I'm now 14 years past having stage 4 cancer, when I really did face my mortality in a very profound way, because I was told the prognosis was not necessarily all that positive. It was like, do your best and see what happens. So, here we are, I am 14 years later, and I get it. I really get it. We've all of our experiences are common, even as they are individual. If you've had a baby, you're common to everyone who's ever had a baby, even though it's your individual experience of it. If you've gotten married, you are common to all the people in the universe that have gotten married, even though you have an individual experience of it. Has anyone here ever had a cold? Right? We've all had colds, and yet it's our cold, but we're common to everything. So I absolutely loved that. So my first quote is from Mother Teresa, and she said, if we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other. I mean, think about that. How often in your life do you find yourself not at peace? And if you really took the time when you're not at peace with yourself, I bet you could trace it back to some part of your life causing you to feel separate, causing you to feel alone, and causing you to feel victimized by something in life that did something to you, or even something in your past that's continuing to do something through you. So I love this quote. We have forgotten that we belong to one another. And that doesn't mean we belong to only those that are a part of our political party, by the by. It means we belong to one another, all people, everywhere, no matter what. So the title of my talk today is, Where Do You Belong? Stan just sang this beautiful Tom Petty song. You belong in the wildflowers. You belong on a boat out in the beautiful ocean. You belong, my own stuff, on a beautiful mountaintop. You belong on a gorgeous hike, on a beautiful trail. You belong on your paddle boat, just moving through the waters. You belong in the arms of someone who loves you unconditionally. Yes, you do. You belong in all those places. But the truth is, when I say, where do you belong, I mean in your mind, your personal decision, where do you belong? How many of you have had the experience where many people in your life have told you where you belong? Right? People, you belong. One of my favorite ones, or you should do this. Anybody? Right? You should do this. You'd be so good at this. You would be so good at this. Right? And then that goes into your head. And people are constantly always seeing stuff about you. But the real question is, where do you belong authentically within you? Where in you? I remember my aunt my Aunt Agnes, who I absolutely loved. I think she's probably the first person that knew I was gay when I was 3. No, but I think she was the first person that knew I was gay, probably even more than I did. When I remember she came home one day from her hairdresser's, and I was downtown at my grandmother's, and I think I was probably like, I don't know, how old was I? Maybe 12, 13, something. And she came over to me and she goes, my hairdresser is so much like you. And she said, have you ever thought about being a hairdresser? I was like, no. I haven't thought about being a hairdresser, actually. And she said, but I know you sing, and he gave me some vocal exercises for you. And someday we should go have lunch with him so you can see what his life is like. And I remember at the time thinking, this is odd. A, I'm not interested in being a hairdresser, and I don't need a hairdresser to teach me how to sing. It was just so odd. But I think what she was saying is, here's your future. So she was very easily, she was like, you should. But I loved my Aunt Agnes. I still have mixing bowls she bought me when I was a 20-something-year-old in New York City, when I moved to New York City. She showed up once, took the Amtrak all the way from Philadelphia, and showed up with a bunch of mixing bowls for me, right? I still have them. I think about her all the time. So that's my question today. Where do you belong? And are you perhaps belonging in your life based on what others think about you, or what others have perhaps suggested for you? Last night in Palm Springs, Reverend Dr. Lori Savage gave a talk about living in a bubble, and she talked in one moment, she was talking about things in life that you experience that changes you, that brings something out in you. And as I was sitting there, just as a congregant, I got all emotional because I remembered something. And it was when I was 19 years old, and Angela Lansbury had come through Philadelphia with Gypsy on its way to Broadway. And no surprise, I wanted to see Gypsy. That should have been a clue right there, that I just wanted to go I got on a bus all by myself from Northeast Philadelphia, took the bus into Center City, went to the box office, asked for a ticket, got a ticket way up in the balcony of the Forest Theater. And, bum, 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 the orchestra started, and I was like, and I'd never seen a show. I'd never seen a Broadway show. I'd been in shows in high school, but I'd never seen a professional show like this. And this play started going, and then this young boy came out playing Tulsa, singing All I Need Now Is a Girl, and it was just him on stage by himself singing and dancing. And I'm way up in the balcony, he's like a little pea down there. And I was like, that's me. That's what I want. And something in me, something inside of me was so connected to that young man, John Sheeran. It just blew me away until the end of the show, when Angela Lansbury and the theater had been built with a big catwalk all the way around the orchestra, so she's like right in the audience, until she started singing Rose's Turn. And then I was like, forget him, I want to be her. Seriously, I was like, that's me. I want to be the only one on that stage, and I want to It was so ingrained in me. I mean, have you ever had that? Where you see something and you're like, that is me. That's what I want. For many people, what they get to is, I belong up there, but I don't know how to get there. That seems a lot. That seems like it would take a lot. I was in Philadelphia. I wasn't even studying. I mean, I was in college and I was doing theater, but I was studying psychology, and I still had a thought that I might want to be a priest. That left very quickly. So that thing inside of us that keeps driving us does not change as you get older. We just cover it up. We just stop listening to it. We start filling ourselves with reasons why I couldn't do that, or maybe I can't do that, or, oh, that was then, this is now. And I have to tell you, so I was 19. When I was 30, and I'd already starred in a Broadway show and starred in off-Broadway shows, And I got the role, the starring role in 42nd Street, the young leading man. And the tour, my end of my tour, I signed a year's contract, ended in Philadelphia at the Forest Theater. And I remember the day we loaded in, and they were doing light cues, and they rolled that, if any of you know 42nd Street, one of my big numbers was called We're in the Money, and it was a giant dime that gets rolled onto stage, dropped stage, and then everybody poses up at me, and then I do this huge tap dance on the dime. And they brought the dime in. No one was there but me and the dime, because they wanted to make sure that the spot was going to hit me properly. And I was standing on that dime, just in my street clothes, at the Forest Theater, looking up at that balcony, at that seat that the 19-year-old me sat in. And I was like, we did it. That is what we teach here. We teach that the dream in your heart is equal to the dream in your reality. We teach that when you are so attuned, so one with who you are, when you remember who you are, and something comes up and says, I belong here, that you follow it, and you allow the universe to take you right along on its dream, because that's the way this works. When that happened last night, I was really very moved. I'm still moved, just thinking about that. And then I started thinking, driving home last night, I was like, from Palm Springs, I was like,
I'm sorry, who was?
you were driving home. Which is why I got to think. Yeah. I started thinking, but that was the deal. I would go if you drove. As Kevin was driving home last night, I was thinking to myself, I was like, where do I belong now? I will tell you this. At Asilomar one summer, I was sitting in Merrill Hall, and James Golden, who was the president at the time, came out and spoke, and I had that feeling again, and I got that, oh, shit, I'm going to be a minister. And I had no interest in being a minister. And most ministers will tell you they had no interest in being a minister. I was with CAA, I had a movie that I'd just written. I was like, no, I'm doing really well. As an actor, as a writer, as a director, wouldn't ministry just like wouldn't this just like totally destroy my whole life, as Kevin has said it has? But something in me, watching James Golden, of all people, James Golden, who ended up leaving ministry and becoming a Buddhist something or other, brilliant man. That moment, that moment where here I was, and I'm like, I see myself there. I ended up being the last speaker on that stage right where he stood at Asilomar when we left Asilomar for the first time. I was the last speaker of the week. And I thought about that. I was like, I remember saying, I want to do that. Now I'm the last one speaking up here before we move out into the world when we started going to Chicago and places. This is the way it works. What is in your heart? So my question to you this morning is this. Where do you feel your most authentic self? Where do you feel like your most authentic self? The question is, where do you belong? Well, you know what? You belong where you feel your most authentic self, wherever that is. You know where you don't belong? Where you don't feel your authentic self. You don't belong in jobs and relationships and in bodies that don't feel right to you. Now, if you are in those things, there's just work to do. That's all. Where do you feel your most authentic self? And then the question I have is, what is driving you? I know what drives me. There are moments it hits me, and I'm going, oh my God, yes, this is what I want. Something came up for me. I have a new idea for 2025, something I really want to do. I'm not going to talk about it, but it came up, and I thought, I should Google this and see if anybody else has done it. So I did. I Googled it, and someone else had done it, but he gave it up like 2017 and changed it to something else. I was like, good. And then I went, And even if he did, does it matter? If this is what came to me? And I always check and see, if it comes to me, do I still feel it when I wake up the next day? And I have every day that I've woken up since this idea came to me. So I'll tell you all about that at some point. So what's driving you? There's something inside of you driving you, and here's what shouldn't be driving you. Monkey mind. And this world out here, the world of effect. Tara Brach said, lifelong longing felt fully carries us to belonging. When was the last time you really had a longing inside of you? When's the last time you had something so exciting? Dr. Karen Oxrider last night, she also gave a talk in Palm Springs. And listening to her talk about her travels and what inspires her, what makes her who she is, was chilling. I mean, I had goosebumps listening to her talk about the places she went. And she was talking about this tongue. What was it called? Troll's tongue in Norway. And you probably already saw the picture. But she showed the picture of it, and she talked about how you have to climb 9 hours. It's a 9-hour climb up to the tongue, and it's about a 20,000 drop down if you fall off it, by the way. And it's a 9-hour hike down it. And so she said, I had all these questions like, can I do this? Can we really go for 18 hours? And she said, but we decided to do it anyway. And then all the things that needed to happen came into play. And then she showed the picture of her and Brad on the tip of the tongue. And I gasped. I was like, oh my God, this is the way it is. What is in your mind today that you want to realize? Longing felt fully. Not longing with all of the yeah buts involved. How many of you do that? Yeah, it's like, I'd love to do this, but blah, 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 blah. So what's longing? What is inside of you that you've been just dying to do? So Brene Brown said this, a deep sense of belonging. Remember, the question is, where do I belong? A deep sense of longing is an irreducible need of all people. We are biologically, cognitively, physically, and spiritually wired to love, be loved, and to belong. When those needs are not met, we don't function as we were meant to. You don't function well if you are not where you belong. You don't function well if you are not following your heart, following the drive in your soul. You don't. That's where illness comes from. That's where all this stuff shows up in our lives. So, Maya Angelou, I long, as does every human being, to be at home wherever I find myself. So here's the thing. When I say, where do I belong? It's not a place. It's not even a thing. It's not even an experience. Am I willing to remember who I am wherever I am? And that question, remember who I am, really does ask a deeper question, which is, where do I belong? Where do I belong in this world today? Honestly, I don't belong right now on the stage of the Forest Theater. I don't. I did, and I did, you know. I don't belong in a number of places where I thought I would never leave. I don't belong in New York City, living in New York City right now. But I did. There was a time when I thought, you will never get me to move anywhere but New York City. Anybody? Right? And then you're like, I would never want to live there. So we do evolve. We do change. We do grow. You know, we talked about the Joffrey Ballet. I do not belong on a ballet stage. These legs do not belong on the ballet stage right now. But I did at one point. I remember going to Pennsylvania Ballet for my first class and watching those guys jeté across the room and lift those girls up in the air. And I was just watching because I was taking the beginner class following it. I was like, I want to do that, until I didn't want to do that. That's how it works. So, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, here's the real question today. Tell me with whom you associate, and I will tell you who you are. When this quote came up when I was looking for something, I was like, wow, are the people in my life the people that I want in my life? And if I look around at the closest people to me, what does that say about me? Now, luckily, this came up very good for me in my life. But I went backwards and I went, what about when I was hanging out with this group? It was all about something completely different than my authentic self. It was me wanting to be something that I wasn't. Lisa and I just had an experience where we went to, and I came home, I told you last week, thinking, I know exactly who I don't want to be, and I know exactly who I am. So the real question is, are you in the right place, with the right people, living your most authentic life? And if you're not, then what? Where do you belong? Do you belong in this room on a Sunday? Yes. Oh, well, that was good, very nice. Thank you. Who said that? Thank you, Nick. I just realized it was your voice. But that's a question. There were times when I realized I didn't belong in a certain room I was in. I remember once we had a meeting, a practitioner meeting, and I did a visioning for that practitioner class. And somebody, one of the practitioner students, when it was all over, I asked everybody to share what came to you. And this person said, what came to me is that I shouldn't be here. And I was like, oh, okay. And she got up and left. That was it. But that was perfect. That was exactly right. Right? So, where do you belong? And where do you find yourself belonging these days? Because I have a great quote for you. It's this one. I don't want to belong to any club that will accept me as a member. Do you have a little bit of that going on? Because that's something to think about. Sometimes we get settled somewhere and think, you know, why am I with all these people? Why am I in this group? Why am I doing this? When actually it is where you're meant to be. So it goes the other way as well. And then my last quote, which is probably the most important quote, is this. If you are not having fun, you are doing something wrong. Because at the end of the day, where you belong, back to what Stan just sang, where you belong is in an experience of life that you enjoy, that you love, that you wake up in the morning and you cannot wait to start your day. You are in an experience of this thing called life where all of your friends excite you. They broaden you, they expand you. And that doesn't mean they're all like yes people. They're all just like love everything you do. No, some of them don't. Some of them question you. Some of them push you. There was a great quote, another quote, and it was this. It was, if you find yourself in jail, one of your closest friends will come and bail you out. Your best friend will be there with you saying, that was fun. Thank you for getting that. Did you get what I just said? You're all like, yeah, I did. I love that. I want friends that are going to land in jail with me. And then I'll call Kevin to bail us out. But seriously, if life isn't fun, if you're not having fun doing what you're doing, or you know my quote, if you can't put your heart in it, take yourself out of it. Because your heart is meant to be where your heart thrives, where your heart grows, where your life expands, where everything about you is tingling with anticipation and excitement for what comes next. And if that's not where you are, I'm here to tell you that's where you belong. So get there. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, everybody, take a deep breath. I invite you to take out your contribution today. Is this you? I think it's just Mindy, Kev. Oh. Did you want to sing something that we don't know about? No. to start? Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the vision of this center. I really do believe that we are just beginning. Even though I've been doing this for almost 25 years, I feel like I've just arrived. It's like I've just arrived on the stage of the Forest Theater, tingling and saying, I'm ready to do Rose's turn. Yeah, out in the world. So thank you. And thank all of you for being here today and for supporting us. I think us in this room, we don't really understand what the reach is of this community. People that really hold themselves as part of this community. I got an email this week from Lynn Rychek, who took Quantum Living just now, 10 weeks of Quantum Living, and never showed up in class, watched the class on a Tuesday because class was on Monday nights, and that's too late for her. And she wrote me this beautiful email about how the class transformed her life, and mentioned people in the class and things they said that moved her. What we do here in this room, it's not just landing and staying in this room. It's going right through that camera there and these cameras out to touch people that you'll never meet, that you'll never know, but who know you and who know us because of who we are and because of what we do. So thank you for that. This song is by Karen Mitchell, Reverend Karen Mitchell, and it says perfectly this idea of being grateful.
If there were only one prayer ever spoken, only one prayer ever heard, only one heart ever broken, it would be enough to say these words. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. If there's only one life that we're living, only one breath and one voice, only one heart we're forgiving, that would be enough to make this choice. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. There's a power in a grateful heart, turning every fear into a work of art. If there's only one love that we're giving, only one fire that burns, only one reason for living, that would be the lesson we would learn. Thank you, thank you, thank
Mindy Schinnerer. Go ahead, Thor.
Good morning. It's Sunday, November 24th, and here are your GTC announcements. Coming up on the calendar, here are some dates in December to note on your calendar. Next Sunday, December 1st, the GTC practitioners, ministers, and board members are having their holiday party at 1 p.m. For details, please see Dr. Karen or Dr. Kirby for more information. On Saturday, December 14th, Dr. James and Kevin are hosting a caroling party at their home. This event is open to all. We ask that everyone bring a healthy dish to share. On Sunday, November 15th, we have our annual membership meeting. If you're a steward of GTC, this is your opportunity to vote on board seats as well as review the accomplishments of the past year and look ahead to what's in store for 2025. That's Sunday, December 15th. Finally, we'll be having a Christmas Eve service on December 24th, so we look forward to celebrating the season with you early that evening. You can always find out what's going on and make a donation using the QR code you'll find in the back of our monthly theme cards. Use the camera on your smartphone and you'll go right to the calendar and donation pages on our website. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
All right, thank you, Thor, very much. I just want to plug a couple things. First and foremost, the holiday caroling and open house at our place. Some people think it's a long party. No, there are many things happening during the holiday season, right? Come for a little bit if you can't come for the whole
It's
3-4 hours.
Isn't it only 4 to 7 or something like that?
Yeah, and we'd say 4 to 7, and usually by the time
5.
What is
oh,
it,
it's
Thor?
5?
5
to 7.
I know, but it's
And we walk around the neighborhood and
Right.
we sing, bring your children, we just sing and eat. But notice that he said healthy food. Every Christmas we have so much cake and cookies and pies and
which I personally do not want to discourage.
but
but-
carrots are nice too.
If you're a rabbit. Let's be real. Okay. No, we don't want to discourage. Some of you are the most incredible bakers.
Yes, that's
so I do not want to discourage that, but it's
Yeah,
also
if you
nice.
make a good figgy pudding, bring it.
But please try to join us for that event at our house.
Yeah, we've had
And now-
upwards of 100 and some odd people at the house.
All right,
Yeah.
and I was meeting with Thor earlier, and our dear friends Jill and Marilyn. We want to announce today, and I'm going to be helping sell it next week, our first Divine Dining event of 2025. Will be a wonderful spaghetti dinner with the wonderful pasta sauce that Thor makes. Becky Kemmerer does a wonderful pesto sauce, and that will be at our house Saturday, January 11th. There'll be information next week. We want to kick off the year with this great Divine Dining event. More information will be next week, but that'll be Saturday, January the 11th.
Is there a number of people that can join this?
150.
Oh, Jesus.
No, that's
good.
not true. I think we'll open it up to 30, Thor. Does that sound like a good number? Yeah. 30 folks. Now, it'll be important. I'm getting it out there now. When you sign up, I'm ready. This is Kevin Bailey. When you sign up, you must also pay for the event. If you're watching online, call me. You can put your credit card through. Happy to make that happen, okay? So we're
good.
kicking off 2025 with the first Divine Dining event, January 11th.
January 11th.
That's
Yes,
it.
good. Okay,
that's all I
good.
got.
Kids, come on up. Hi. Oh my goodness. Come on up. Shannon, come up here. Introduce
Good
her.
morning.
Could you tell them who she is?
Good morning. I get the pleasure and honor to
bud.
introduce
How are you?
to you Shauna Williams.
Woo!
She's amazing. She wrote our lesson plan for today, which was really brilliant and wonderful. Do you want to talk about your lesson plan? Okay, I will do that then. The lesson plan was about ripple effect, right? The ripple effect.
Oh, the
How
ripple effect.
If we drop a stone in the water, it ripples out. And we talked about what could that stone be for us? What is the ripple effect for us? And we had some really fabulous answers. Gemma, do you want to tell them your answer?
It was like kindness, like when you like connect arms and you like make a wave. It's like the kindness is rippling off each arm from each person.
Aww.
Where's Ryder? It's already on. Go ahead.
A ripple effect is like when you say something bad in an echo, it happens back, like, you know.
That was good.
We had some really great insights. David, did you want to give yours?
You're shy?
Yeah? You don't? Okay.
say
Sawyer,
something?
did you want to do yours? No? That's okay. So then we ended the lesson with 2 little gifts. One was a car, which is awesome. You back it up and you let it fly and it goes zzz, and sometimes it spins and sometimes it goes straight. It just depends on where you're aiming. Then on top of that, Miss Shauna gave the kids each a rose quartz. Because rose quartz, oh, thank you, my love. So this is what they got.
Is that what that is?
They each got one, and they got a little baggie to carry it in. Because rose quartz, most of you out here already know this. What does it represent, family? It represents love. So we made sure that that was the stone that we drop in the water for our children.
Excellent. And so what we can announce it today.
We can announce it? All
Yeah.
right. So we're announcing today that Shauna will be taking over the program. She will be running it. She will be driving it. She's got some gorgeous and wonderful ideas. We've been able to put our heads together to mesh both of our visions and how this program will move forward. And I will get to retire.
Yeah.
It's been 12 years, so
We then get Connie up here.
then I can come up here and be like
An adult.
an adult. I get to grow up. I'm growing up, I
Wait,
guess.
how
but
long have you been running the children's program?
since 2015, 2014.
So 9 years.
So 9 years.
Yeah.
9 years, yeah.
Okay, let's give it up for the kids and for Connie. And the ripple effect.
Wow. Okay, Robbie, give me some pretty music. CRT, is it the two of you? Yes. Tell them. Tell them what you two are doing.
Oh, come on, Kevin.
Reverend Kevin.
Reverend Kevin, Dr. Kirby, we are available to you if you want a short treatment, if something came up for you, something you want to solidify or release in your life, we are here. Reverend Kevin is going to be in this cozy area over here, and I will be in the meditation room.
Great, good. So use them. Yes. Okay, come on up, everybody. So let's take a deep breath. You know, when Sundays close, I always think, how much has been said? How many ideas? What landed with you? What resonated? That's all you need to take. Whatever showed up today that was just for you, Connie. Because frankly, the universe is infinite in possibilities. And as you sit here in the midst of that infinite possibility, something has your name on it. Something is here just to speak to you in the only way it can. So whatever that is, I invite you to take it, pay attention to it, give it space, give it your love, your attention, your respect, allow it to inform whatever it needs to inform in you so that you find that place where you and only you belong. So I'm going to invite you all to stand. And let's recognize, go ahead, Robbie. Even though you think you've done it all, seen it all, been it all, you ain't seen nothing yet. So you think there's nothing new under the sun.
If it's possible,
It's already been done. If you think this stage has all been set, well, think again. You ain't seen nothing yet. The sun will come up with a
You're smack dab in the middle of the promised land. It all turned out just the way that you planned. Believe it, you will see it. Mindy.
So you think you finally made your bed, that there ain't nothing down that road ahead. Well, if you think this is as good as it gets, you wanna bet?
Ha, ha, you ain't seen nothing yet. The sun will come up with a wave of your hand. You're smack dab in the middle of the promised land. It all turned out just the way that you planned. Believe it, you will see it. Believe it, you will see it. And you ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing yet. Whoa, you ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing yet. Whoa, you ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing yet. Oh, you ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing yet. The sun will come up with a wave of your hand. You're smack